homesteading to prepping to common horse sense, we are College Hill Farm. Welcome back to College Hill Farm. Well, today it's time to get our cucumbers in the ground. It's the beginning of May. Now I'm about 3 weeks behind in editing videos, so this video won't come out probably till toward the end of May. But it's still, that would be still plenty enough time to be able to plant your cucumbers. Cucumbers are faster to come up. They're faster to produce than, say, tomatoes or something like that. They start putting on cucumbers really quick after they get out of the ground. So you can plant cucumbers, you can do succession planting the cucumbers all through the summer, and August is about the last, the 1st of August would be about the last time that you can plant cucumbers and expect to harvest. So you can just keep planting cucumbers. But now, what I'm going to do, it's time to pickle. We haven't pickled anything as far as cucumbers go in about 3 years. So it's time to pickle again. And our preferred cucumber is called a straight 8. Now this one right here, these seeds are pretty old. I don't know if they'll all come up or not. They might come up or they might not. If I get 1 or 2 to come up per hill down through here, that'll be fine. I'm going to plant a full 100-foot row of cucumbers. That will allow me to harvest cucumbers, small ones, for dill pickles. Excuse me, for a full-size dill pickles, and then larger ones for spears, and then hamburger dill chips is our favorite. I love to eat them. I love to eat them with soup beans. Oh yeah, I love them. So, and Crystal will make, I'm sure, some bread and butter pickles, but there's a lot of sugar in that, and that's not too good for me. So I try and limit the amount of bread and butter pickles I eat. So I'm going to get down here through here and plant these, and I'm going to show you how to do it. Well, here we are at the edge of the hill garden. Okay, right here, of course, the edge. Then there's this section right here that I plowed yesterday or day before yesterday, and then over here, cucumbers are going to need at least 8 feet to spread. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to plant them right here down this row here, and that will allow them to spread all the way over to this row. And I can tend beside them with the tractor until they start spreading a lot, but by the time I get down through there and have plowed quite a bit, then they will have they'll have spread and covered the ground, and they'll keep most of the weeds choked out. So let's get down through here and plant us some cucumbers, and I'll show you how it's done. Now I like to grow my cucumbers on a hill. So all I do is I take my hoe and I pull up a pretty good amount of dirt, make a nice hill, and then I drop 4 or 5 cucumber seeds on that hill. I try and spread them out. Okay, once I've got them down there, then I just take a little bit of dirt, sprinkle over the top, and firm them down. Okay, there's one of them showing still. And that's it. Now, I'll come back and sprinkle a little 10-10-10 fertilizer on top of this. I'll show you that a little bit later, how much fertilizer to put on. But I'm going to get down this row. About 4 to 5 feet apart is what you want to make your cucumber hills. You don't want to make them too close together because, like I said, the cucumbers will spread up to 8 feet in all directions. So 4 feet to either side of the hill. So 4 or 5 feet down through there, you've got cucumbers that are intertwining with each other and all kinds of stuff. So I'm going to get down through here and plant these, and you can come along for the ride. Okay, between 5 and 7 feet apart down through there is what I made the hills. I stepped 3 steps. Now, sometimes my steps were short because in this walking in this soft dirt, sometimes I get a little off balance. So, anywhere between 5 and 7 feet, I don't step a 3-foot step anymore. So, down through there, I got 15 hills in a 100-foot row. So, if you average that out, that's about 6 feet per hill. So that works out pretty good. Now, some of the folks say, well, why do you plant so many? A good hill of cucumbers can give you up to a bushel of cucumbers over its lifetime. And you think, wow, a bushel of cucumbers, how many cucumbers do you need to pickle? Well, the problem is that when it does it, they don't give you all the cucumbers all at once. They give you the cucumbers over the course of 2 or 3 months. And if you keep them picked off, they'll keep producing. Okay, so we're talking about a bushel of cucumbers spread out over 90 days. Well, you can't can if you've only got 1 or 2 cucumbers. You see where I'm getting at? But with 10 rows and 2 plants per row, per hill, then, or 15 rows, I'm looking at 30 times 5 cucumbers, okay, 150 at a time. And then you'll cut off the blossom end and do other stuff to them. Alright, does that make sense? So, when you got a can, you've got to have quantity when they're all ready. You can't wait for it ain't like you can put them in the freezer and keep them for a month. You can't do that. So you want to have them where they produce enough to do a cannon this week, and then next week they produce enough to do another cannon. And then after you do 2 or 3 cannons, you're done over the course of a month, month and a half. So you have to have enough cucumbers to put out enough cucumbers to can with. So that's what we did. Now let's put some fertilizer on. Now I store my fertilizer over the winter from last year. But if you leave it in the bag, it draws moisture. Okay, if you've got a bag that you've opened and it's just going to draw moisture, and your fertilizer is going to be no good come spring. So I store my fertilizer from the previous year in a 5-gallon bucket with a tight fitting lid. And that allows it to remain without all the water in it. Okay, see, that fertilizer is good and dry. So now let's show you about how much you need on a hill. We'll start with this first hill. Now this first hill right here, all you want to do is sprinkle some on like that, and let me show you the hill a little closer. That is how much fertilizer I put on that hill. Okay, just enough to almost cover the hill, but not hardly. Now let's get down through here and fertilize these cucumbers, all of them. Okay, all 15 hills fertilized. It took probably 2 pounds of fertilizer for the entire thing. That's all the fertilizer I'll use for the year. That fertilizer will be good for about a month, 2 months, and by that time the cucumbers will be putting on and putting out all we can eat and all we can. So I won't have to fertilize those anymore. Now, as long as I keep the cucumbers picked off, they'll keep giving. Every neighbor I know is going to get cucumbers this year. Okay? So that's the way that works. Now, if you like this stuff, this homesteading, do-it-yourself kind of thing, be certain to come on out to the channel and subscribe. If you hit the little bell when you come to the channel, it'll notify you when we upload a video. We upload every Sunday. Sometimes 1, sometimes 5 videos. Now, with that being said, it's time for me to get on to the next thing.